Parker Retzlaff in the 31. Anthony Alfredo in the 5. We are about to go racing from the paperclip. Martinsville Speedway to determine who the championship 4 will be. Three wide into 3. Eric Almirola in the 20 pushing the fact, and the 8 of Sammy Smith has to check up, and he falls back a few spots.
That was one of those decisions we talked about, Rick. Sammy Smith in that 8 car, he could have just gotten really mad and gotten super aggressive right there. In a must-win situation, it's easy to let it get away from you. He did not do that, and now he still is out there with a shot.
Big defensive move by that 2. Goes down and blocks the 20 of Almirola. See Love, now he's going to protect the bottom. You see that low exit, and just like that, they're stacked up behind. A lot of defense to the bottom. The preferred lane is right around the curbing, right around the bottom of the racetrack, and that's why you're seeing these odd moves down the straightaway to try to get to the bottom.
Everybody wants to win this race. There's only 2 that are comfortable as far as making it into the championship 4, and that is A.J. Allmendinger and Austin Hill in the 21. We see him there. He's already been a little aggressive with the 20, put the bumper to the back of the 20 a couple times.
Yeah, I think what happened there is that Almirola, he got really aggressive when they dropped the green flag and put some people in some tough spots, and Austin Hill didn't like it. Let him know it.
Curbing on this racetrack very difficult, as drivers on that inside line, if they get that left side front tire up there on the curbing, it could shoot them out into the guys on the outside of them.
Yeah, look what happens right here. Racing for the bottom of the racetrack, you talked about it, Sheldon Creed got back to the bottom, and as soon as he got there, went straight to it, not letting anybody else get underneath him.
There's Cole Custer. He's working by Sammy Smith now. Sammy Smith stuck on the outside. No opening for him right now. Riley Herbst is going to fill the hole behind that 00 of Cole Custer. So Riley Herbst in the 98 trying to move up as well and not allow the 8 in. He's still down there.
Sammy Smith talked about it in the pre-race. Felt really good about his race car. Qualified 7th, but already back to 11th.
Herbst is going to go by. Now here comes Sam Mayer. Sammy Smith continues to fall back.
All the playoff drivers are nervous because it happens so quickly here at Martinsville. Look at this right here, the 38 of Matt DiBenedetto as they roll down into turn 1. The outside lane stacks up, nothing wrong with bang into the back of the 9. Damage to the hood. The hood now kind of buckled up in front of the windshield of the 38, so it's been an uphill battle. Here the 20 of Almirola. He was blocked once by Jesse Love. He was patient, but now he's on the inside.
Love in that second line, and Almirola fighting to sweep the Martinsville races. One here in the spring.
Now Jesse Love sees them lined up on the bottom of the racetrack. It's a little break right there, I feel like, from his teammate.
Well, that's opposite of a year ago for those 2 cars. Different driver.
A little bit different scenario.
It's early.
Marty, what about that 2 and Jesse Love?
Yeah, a little kindness in the RCR camp. His teammate Austin Hill letting him in, and I talked to Jesse this afternoon, and he said, this has been the hardest discipline for me to learn how to go slow in the corners. Here and New Hampshire, just been very difficult tracks for me to pick up. He said, I feel like we have a very good short run car, long run speed. That's my concern. But Jeff, talk about the different discipline a driver has to have at a place like here and New Hampshire, both very flat racetracks.
So instinctively, you see 3-wide battle right here. Riley Herbst in that 98 car getting underneath. Oh, problem with 16.
Yeah, A.J. Allmendinger looked like he had the right front go down. We saw a lot of smoke. And the caution comes out for the first time. 12 laps in. Cole Custer pushing the 16 up the racetrack, and then coming back down into this turn. Allmendinger fighting to get back inside. This week, NXT moves to Wednesday for a special one night only with an historic event at the iconic 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Don't miss NXT on a special night, 8, 7 Central, right here on the CW.
AJ Allmendinger on pit road with damage. Cole Custer and AJ very aggressive. Cole had moved AJ out of the way. AJ returned the favor. Contact right there. That's where the right front damage comes. That's where the right front is cut. Gets in the corner, the car doesn't turn. Contact.
And so 2x2 once again. It is Parker Retzlaff that's on the inside, and Chandler Smith has chosen the outside line to restart here at Martinsville. 42 laps to go in stage one, and we're back under green. Great restart by the 81, and he's going to clear the 31. Chandler Smith takes the lead at Martinsville.
Eric Almirola once again putting them 3 wide. He's not bashful.
Door to door here at Martinsville, rubbing a little paint off of some of these cars, and Anthony Alfredo right there in the middle of that 3 wide as Riley Herbst goes by on the inside, and Alfredo drops another couple spots. Three wide again. This time Anthony Alfredo's on the outside of that 3 wide. Alfredo tucking right in behind Cole Custer. As we're watching and riding along with the Celsius on board of Jeb Burton, with Chandler Smith out in front, that pushes Cole Custer below the cut line, because Chandler Smith started below the cut line, but if he can advance by winning this race, that pushes one of those 2 that was above the cut line based on points below it. Chandler Smith has been so good here at Martinsville. Started 3rd, took the lead on the restart, and now he's starting to pull away.
Celsius cam right here with Jeb Burton. Good start to the race so far. He's driven up to 15th.
Parker Kligerman in the 48. He had to go to the back. Unapproved adjustments on that car.
Doing a nice job. He's up to 22nd right here, and he's being aggressive, as you can see.
Gets into it with Josh Williams in the 11. That's Ryan Sieg in the 28. He also started at the back of the field.
At the top of your screen, we talked a lot about all the playoff drivers and wanting to win, but you still have to factor in the non-playoff guys. This 20 of Eric Almirola, he is showing the speed in this 20 car early.
And again, keep track of the scoring on the left side of your screen. Those with the purple lines beneath them, they are all playoff drivers. So those are the 8 playoff drivers. The ones with green underneath, those are the drivers that are locked into the championship 4. The only one you're seeing on here now is Austin Hill. That's because the 16 of AJ Allmendinger, they have been doing work on the car, and right now our scoring is showing them as out of this race.
Almirola is making all of this work on corner entry. He has good exit speed, but if he gets even close to a guy on corner entry, he just hangs the left and outbreaks him. Good run right here. He's going to take this spot. Allgaier be wise just to let him go. 20 cars faster. Big gap behind him. Can just settle in and make lap time.
Allgaier still fighting on that outside. Won here a year ago. Put him into the championship 4.
There you go. The 7 actually beat the 20. I didn't see that happening, but next time Almirola will be a little more aggressive with him. Another run. Now he should drive in the corner really deep, kind of put
Well, he's
Allgaier in a position where he doesn't want to be. Make him uncomfortable. He doesn't want to get in a battle. He doesn't want contact.
Yeah, Allgaier does not want to have any issues on the track today, as he is above that cut line based on points. On the bottom of your screen, you see Cole Custer in the 00, and he has just cleared the 98. Here was a little radio from Cole Custer about the 16 and the issue with A.J. Allmendinger.
That was awesome. Yeah, I mean, you just can't. A guy like that just got to completely lose their mind, you know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I had to go, but he wasn't going to take it. Took himself out of it.
So that's one side of the story we're hearing from Cole Custer. And Marty is standing by with the other side of that story.
Yeah, let's chat with A.J. Allmendinger. I asked him a moment ago, was it the contact with the 00? He said yes. We just played some radio from Cole Custer. He said you took yourself out. What's your thought on that?
Can't wait to get to Phoenix.
What about, I know you wanted to build some momentum in this race, A.J., being out this early. How do you go into the mindset next week?
We're going to go win a championship. That's the mindset, so it's all good.
A.J. Allmendinger did, I don't think he liked that comment from Cole Custer too much, and he said, yes, it was indeed the contact from the 00 that took him out.
Cole Custer right now running in the 7th position in this race. It's Chandler Smith who has a 1-second advantage over Parker Retzlaff here at Martinsville.
Pit stops underway at Martinsville. 21 to go here in stage one. Chandler Smith said he's just a little bit too free on corner exit. That's his biggest issue. Jesse Love will pick up a couple of spots here on pit road. He too said his car was just a little bit free. As the race off Progressive Pit Road, Chandler Smith comes in with the lead. He will leave with the lead as well.
And the reason for the caution, we saw the 91 under nonstop get turned around. Potentially maybe some contact from the 28 of Ryan Sieg. Let's look again.
Sieg just drives really deep into the corner and just gets in the left rear quarter panel with Myatt. Sieg coming from the back, being pretty aggressive right there.
Myatt Snyder making his third start of the 2024 season, the Xfinity Series.
Chandler Smith was the first off pit road, but he for sure won't have the lead because 9 other drivers stayed on the racetrack. So I like what the 81's doing here. So their theory is 20 laps to go on the stage. We're going to pit now, stay out at the end of the stage, probably go all the way to the end of stage 2. They're calling the race like it's a must-win because that's what they feel it is. The other drivers that have stayed out, no surprise, Cole Custer, he's sitting there in second. He's looking for some stage points. Sam Mayer, interesting as well. He came in well below the cut line. He stayed on the racetrack in second, so it's split strategies for the playoff drivers. It'll be interesting to see how quick this 81 can use the new tires to get through traffic.
Well, the 7 car pitted as well, and if we get a new winner, then he and the 00, they are in a point battle between those two. So let's see how they net out. Let's see if the 7 can drive up and get some stage points here.
Good vantage point from race leader Chandler Smith from this Toyota onboard camera.
Austin Hill locked in to the championship 4, so this should be stress-free, but you still want to have a good day. Tight pit road, you see right there the 92 in front. Dawson Cram did all he could get in his pit box, just not a lot of space. The 21 had to back up. Might even have made a little contact with the 5 right there, so some spots lost for the 21.
I feel like Dawson Cram was up in his pit box, so the 21 just has to stop shorter.
Kim, what about Sammy Smith?
Yeah, Sammy Smith on pit road, still looking for a lot more out of his race car. He said there's no grip, it's kind of slimy. Loose was the major condition. He also had a little bit of a brake fade. They took 4 fresh Goodyear tires as well as fuel. Small adjustment there on Sammy Smith's machine, Dave.
Justin Allgaier said his car was loose on exit, not good on the bottom, so they made a wedge adjustment to balance the car back out. And he said, I almost didn't make it to pit road. You called it so late. The command was, if the 81 pits, you pit also. Justin barely made it to pit road legally.
So now differing strategies between the 00 and the 7, which makes it interesting because those two are fighting for points. We do know that one of those two are guaranteed, I should say guaranteed, but one of those two are more than likely going to be in the championship 4 based on points. Green flag back out in the air. And Parker Retzlaff on the inside trying to hang on to that lead. But once again, he will lose it on the restart. This time it's the 00 of Cole Custer who takes the point.
Look at the 7 of Allgaier on the outside of 3 wide.
Bottom right, that's Chandler Smith and Allgaier side by side. The first 2 cars on newer tires.
It's going to be interesting to see how the 7 car can work this out, because he is stuck behind a car with much older tires. Oh, that was the break he needed.
Went to the bottom.
Leland Honeyman thought he was doing the 7 a solid, and he pulled down in front of the 81. He's thinking, man, how'd you do that to me?
And now Allgaier will try to pick off a few more in front of him as Allgaier is up inside the top 10. So Cole Custer leading, Allgaier running 9th right now. Retzlaff has already led 20 laps in this race. We talked about that underdog status for Retzlaff and how he was going to do.
SVG in that 97 car all over the rear bumper of the 31.
Caution out once again, and this time it's Leland Honeyman in the 42. I wonder if
back around.
somebody wasn't happy about the way he came down in front of them.
It's not the caution Cole Custer wanted to see. He wanted to see this thing run out and win that stage.
So now Cole Custer had a 1 second advantage. That's gone. Take another look at what happened to Honeyman.
Oh, that's tough. The 42 drives in there like they're going to be too wide. Blaine Perkins of the 29 drives in like he's in the middle. I really put that on Blaine. I think barely inside the 42.
3 cautions already at Martinsville. This Monday, the Man of Steel continues his epic battle with Lex Luthor for the fate of Smallville. Tune in to an all-new episode in the final season of Superman and Lois this Monday at 8/7 Central right here on the CW. Getting ready for the restart, you're watching the National Debt Relief 250 from Martinsville Speedway. All right, DJ, did the first stage go as you have expected?
Yeah, everybody had aggression pills put in their water before they got in the car, so I think that's going to continue. And I was interested to see where Cole Custer was going to choose right there, because the 2 restarts that we've had since the start of the race, the outside car has taken the lead, but Cole Custer took the inside. See how that works?
We'll see how it works out for Parker Retzlaff in the 31. He'll be on the outside, Cole Custer on the inside. And getting ready for the restart, it will be a sprint to the finish. 7 laps to complete stage 1. Pretty good vantage point riding along with the Toyota onboard of Chandler Smith. He's just a couple rows back here as we get ready for that restart. Great launch for Cole Custer. And up the racetrack, the 31 of Parker Retzlaff into the wall. Caution comes back out. Don't know if he was helped.
Back it down so we can come to the pit road. Back it down. I can't back.
Or if a tire went down, but he went straight into the wall.
No, I think there's some disagreements. More. Let me be clear. There's more disagreements. There.
He's slow.
See what happens right here. The 31. The 00 gets a great start. The 31's a little slow to go.
I mean, the one's just into the back of the 31 trying to push him. The 31's trying to get checked up to keep from wrecking, and then the car behind the one is into the back of him.
Yeah, the 11 was pushing the one. I don't know if on purpose or if the one was checking up, but it was definitely all connected.
And so what happened to the one here? NASCAR's instructed him to go back to his spot here.
Well, he's going to continue moving up forward, and then he'll run side by side with the car that he believes he's in the position of, and then NASCAR will make that determination, correct?
Yeah, but apparently he believes it's in front of the 8 guys he just drove by.
So watch the 11 behind the 1. So the 1 pushes the 31 all the way down the straightaway, still pushing him. And then right there, they all lock bumpers. The 81's into the 11, the 11's into the 1, the 1's into the 31. But it all started with the aggressive pushing on the front straightaway.
Oh, this would be a good view right here from the inside.
Parker didn't get a good restart, but you can't push a guy getting into the corner.
We've heard now from NASCAR this is going to end the stage, which will give Cole Custer the win and those 10 points. And the one I think pulls up to show his frustration with the 11 who was behind him. This move right here. And he takes a swerve at the 11, and the 11's.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're pushing the guy in front of you, and the guy behind you it's just emotions.
And Jeff, you made this comment earlier. How will these drivers respond with something like this? When they get pushed, how will they respond? We just saw how Sam Mayer was going to respond.
Well, everybody's different, right? And that's you got to check your emotions. You're in a must-win situation as the 1 car.
Well, now we're hearing this won't end the stage. NASCAR's changed their mind. That's super frustrating if you're a team and you go off the 1 decision because you decide to pit or to not pit. So to hear once it's going to end the stage and then not end the stage changes what the teams are going to decide. I think the 1 has to come in for damage regardless.
Kim, what about the 31?
Yeah, Parker Retzlaff not happy with Sam Mayer. Take a listen to his radio.
The 1 just pushed us all the way into turn 1 and just killed our race car.
He has my tires lifted off the ground, and then he just drives me through the turn 1 wall.
So when we talked that there was going to be chaos, I think we thought the end of the race, not right here in stage 1, the first 60 laps.
Yeah, you see there's damage to the right front of this 31 of Parker Retzlaff.
Parker Retzlaff with a great race so far. Here, look, let's go back to the restart zone. So right there, the 00 launches, the 31 doesn't. Now the 1 is into the back of the 31, but right here, he needs to get away from him. And Parker Retzlaff is trying to get the car slowed down to make the corner, and then the 11 gets into the back of the 1. And the 81 back into the back of the 11. So I don't understand what Sam Mayer is upset about.
Dave, what about Sam Mayer?
Just a damage check when he came down pit road, changed tires and send him back out there. They want to take care of it now, but you see that right rear is the biggest damage area.
Well, this is going to end up being 1 lap to end the stage.
Well, now this puts the 7 of Allgaier on fresh tires right behind the 00. 81 right behind him. This decision to run 1 lap is a big change to the playoff drivers.
20 also has fresher tires. He starts on the outside of row 1.
Ready, green, 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 green.
1 lap shootout. Cole Custer with a great launch. He holds that inside line. But here comes the 20 on the outside. Almirola fighting through 3 and 4. They'll be coming to the green and white checkered. Up the racetrack, the 20 goes. The 00 of Cole Custer. And the 20, a photo finish to end stage 1. And it looks as though by our scoring, Cole Custer has the advantage by 1/1000th of a second.
That'll be verified by the camera because points are paid, so NASCAR will take a look at it, but so close, Rick. We'll just go off the timing for now.
Look at this finish to stage 1. It looks like the 20 might have the advantage. We'll figure it out later. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by National Debt Relief, helping you become debt-free. Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express Card, and by Toyota. Let's go places. So we showed you the 20 right at the end, looking as though it nosed in front of the 00 of Cole Custer, and scoring has been updated, and sure enough, the 20 ends up winning the stage. That's 10 stage points, and that means 9 for the 00. Allgaier was third, so only 1 point advantage for Cole Custer in stage 1 over the 7 of Allgaier. That is the 5th stage win this season for Eric Almirola, and the 2nd already at Martinsville.
And Custer gave up a ton of track position, is going to be behind a lot of cars.
So the question now is, does he pit? I mean, I know the easy question is you have to pit because you're on old tires, but it's 55 to go in the stage right now. If you get a couple of yellows, you might only run 30 laps. I think the 00 probably will pit, but man, he's going to be in the hornet's nest.
Steve, should I ask you or our stat guys, at what point in time, because we see Custer and Allgaier both gaining points over the guys that were below the cut line, when does it become a must-win situation for all the guys below the cut line?
That's the stat guys, because they always tell me that my math isn't right.
Kim.
Yeah, Cole Custer, that did not play out how the team wanted. Caution-wise, crew chief Jonathan Toney telling his driver, you know, we made our bed, get the points we can in the stage. They did that. They're going to have to go to battle this stage. They're kind of cheerleading their driver. You saw that chassis adjustment as well as an air pressure adjustment, because Cole said he just needs more turn late center. It was a little tight that road.
Cole Custer coming off of pit road now, and I think Cole may have been a little bit, I guess, agitated the way stage 1 ended. Listening to his radio.
That's bullshit that comes down to that, because it makes no sense. If our transponder was in front of him and he had momentum on us, that means our nose was definitely in front of him.
I understand the frustration, but should we go into the whole math? You want it, Rick?
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you, here's how it works.
On the line.
No,
that's the problem.
So here's the thing. Cole, I learned this lesson this year. I'm not going to claim I knew it, but let me explain. The transponder gets measured not over one line, but over a loop. It's about a foot apart. It crosses loop 1 and loop 2, and somewhere in the middle there, the signal becomes the strongest, and that's how it scores that car. And the accuracy is about 4 or 5 thousandths of a second, depending on speed. Probably a little less than that here because the cars are going slower. But when it comes to 1/1000th of a second, they use the high-speed camera. So, Cole, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I would be frustrated as well. But the truth is, it goes to the camera when points are paid, and that's why they double-checked it.
And now you know the rest of the story.
That's right. Paul Harvey came out. That's right.
The rest of the story.
I'll thank all the close finishes this year to give me my education. I've had a lot of phone calls about that.
That's a good problem.
We're going to hear another side of a different story from earlier. Parker Retzlaff is with Marty.
Yeah, let's get the rest of this story. Parker, we heard your frustration on the radio with what happened with Sam Mayer. Was there something before that incident that led to that?
No, I mean, nothing really happened. I guess I thought it was the 1 at first, but it seems like I just didn't get a good restart, and then the 11 just runs both of us clean over. So it's unfortunate. I think we had a car that could run top 5, and the long runs were really good. We just struggled a little bit with restarts, and it just sucks that we had a car as fast as Xfinity Internet, and it means nothing right now because we're wrecked in stage 1 because somebody has no patience.
Tough way to end it for the pole sitter today, Rick.
Yeah, and we had mentioned earlier, it was kind of that underdog story of what could Parker Retzlaff do with this opportunity, and that's the way it ends for him.
And a fast race car on a day like today, and he doesn't know what his plans are for next year, so that makes it even double frustrating.
Anthony Alfredo, the other part of that front row that started this race up front, scored 11th the last time by, so we'll keep our eye on Anthony, see how he does.
Agitated was a good word. That was quite a 60-lap fight. I mean, what did I just watch for 60 laps?
Yeah. You want to talk about agitated? Cole Custer was just discussing that he thought he might have won that stage. Look where he's going to line up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is going to line up in 28th. And look at the mess that he has to go through.
stage 1 complete. We're about to get underway with stage 2. Almirola on the inside and Chandler Smith on the outside of row 1.
Green flag, green flag.
Allgaier right there on the back bumper of Almirola. We'll see if he's able to hold on to that spot, not give an opening to the 81 of Chandler Smith. Smith's going to take the spot. And now Jesse Love in the 2. Tries to work that high line. Riley Herbst in the 98 has come up.
Early in these runs, you can make that in the high line work. Jesse Love, if he can pin the 7 car down to the bottom of the racetrack, get a good launch on corner exit. He doesn't beat the 7, but he does beat the 98.
So that opening. Oh, and up the racetrack goes the 7 of Allgaier.
I think he had a little help. And I think Jesse Love gave it back to him. I really believe that Jesse Love got the 2 up the racetrack and then checked up to give the 7 his spot back.
98 of Riley Herbst got into the back of the 2, pushed him up the racetrack.
I like what you're saying there, Jeff. Like, hey, I hate you. I didn't mean to. I got in there a little too deep. It happens. I'll just give you the spot back.
It's 100% what it looked like to me.
You think Allgaier notices?
Oh, 100, yeah, for sure.
Great, great. So that's mission accomplished, right? Let's not make an enemy if you didn't mean to.
That's how we used to race.
Riley Herbst got into the back of the 2. Things heating up front as Almirola trying to fend off the 81 of Chandler Smith.
It's not uncommon to see Joe Gibbs racing at the front at Martinsville.
I love how the 81 works this. So he's going to enter a little higher, a half a car width or so, Jeff, and then turn across. See if he does it again. See, he does. Look, he lets the 20 go in, and he's going to try to turn right across that rear bumper. The problem he has is Aric Almirola has so much experience, he's just patient, and he stays on the curb a little bit longer and doesn't give the 81 anywhere to go. Like, look, right there. He wants to turn underneath the 20, but Almirola just keeps, that's very Denny Hamlin-esque. I watched Denny for years roll that curb about a car width longer than anyone else.
All right, a lot of people are going to be looking at this and saying, okay, they're both Joe Gibbs Racing drivers. Chandler Smith, if he wins this race, has an opportunity to be in the championship 4. Why would Aric Almirola race him so hard? Steve, would you like to answer the question?
Well, because Aric Almirola wants to win this race. I mean, he's here to win this race for the 20 car.
And?
Well, there's also the owner point, but I'm not going to admit it or talk about it.
Okay. Yes, he would want to win this race because he would sweep. He won earlier this year here at Martinsville.
Well, and Chandler Smith starting to get more aggressive as we see the 1 of Mayer and the 00 Custer trying to work themselves. But a little bit of contact. You said it, Steve. Aric Almirola doing a great job of leaving the corner on the bottom of the racetrack, not giving Chandler Smith the place to go. What do you do about that? You give him a little bit of a shot right in the middle of the corner, get it where he can hit his groove, and then try to make the pass. Well, Chandler's not going to spin him around, but if he can just move him up off the bottom of the racetrack.
He is staying right on that back bumper of the 20.
When I say not going to spin him around, not on purpose.
Not intentionally.
There
he gave him a little shove again up the racetrack. Can Chandler Smith take advantage of it?
That's exactly the way a pass at Martinsville has been made forever. You get it, your car's a little bit faster than the guy in front of you. You just push him up out of his line, take the spot.
And so Chandler Smith back out in front. This will be his 23rd lap led here today. Marty.
Rick, remember Chandler Smith started racing when he was 8 years old. Now at 22, think about the position he is in. He has 1 shot left in a bid for a NASCAR championship. While all the other drivers around him know what they're doing next year, Chandler does not. He has no job, and as of right now, no opportunity in NASCAR next year as Aric Almirola tries to get that spot back. So Chandler Smith fighting for his career here, Rick, much less a shot at the championship.
Almirola used the exact same move that we saw out of Chandler Smith. A little contact in the center of the turn, shoves him up the racetrack, turns on the inside. He wasn't able to complete the pass.
All right, so now Almirola knows that the 81 is just a little bit quicker. Because get driving underneath him like that, he should have been able to take that spot. He couldn't do it. So Almirola now may not be quite as aggressive with him. If the 81 can start driving away from him.
Allgaier's coming into the picture. He's just a couple car lengths back from the 20 of Almirola. Now 2 car lengths. He has closed that gap, as there's some great racing for 5th on the bottom of the screen. Jesse Love holding off Riley Herbst.
A little bit of contact in 1 and 2.
Maybe not.
Oh boy.
Way up the racetrack they go.
Yeah, Riley Herbst paying him back.
And now Love looks like he's on the hunt.
Dude, this is our race. There's not fucking.
And he's going to go back after that 98. But a lot of positions lost for Jesse Love there.
What race do you want to watch? There's
All
a
of
lot
them.
happening.
All of them. Chandler Smith still in front, leading this race. 34 laps still to go in stage 2. As they run with Chandler Smith up front, it's Allgaier by 30 points over Custer.
So watch this right here. The 2 gets in the corner and just shoves the 90 up out of the way. That was an aggressive move. So Riley Herbst rolls in behind him. Says, all right, buddy, we're going to play like that. Here you go.
I think Creed saw it coming. Creed was like, I'm going to give these 2 some space because I think I might get both of them. And he does.
And this battle continues on. The 27 of Jeb Burton. He's got a fast race car. Cannot quite get around the 18 of Creed. Battle for the lead's hot as well.
Chandler Smith up in front. Almirola right on his back bumper. Great racing here at Martinsville. It's time for double the thrill and double the fun. You can enter for a chance to win an unforgettable trip to Universal Orlando Resort, followed by a VIP experience at the 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series opening weekend. Scan the QR code, or you can visit the CWSweeps.com now to enter. Still up front, Eric Almirola with Chandler Smith running second. But Sammy Smith has taken over the 3rd spot in front of Allgaier. And here's Cole Custer behind Sam Mayer. Up for long.
Yeah, Custer's really using these new tires. This is going to be for the 12th position. So to circle back on the conversation you were trying to get me in earlier, Rick, the 20 of Almirola is racing for an owner's championship because they run multiple drivers. In this series, we see this multiple times where the driver and the owner can be two different champions. Almirola and this 20 cars had a great year. They're in the owner championship. They are battling the 00, the 7. It's a tight owner's points championship. That's another reason. Plus, he just wants to win. Right. But that was what you were alluding to.
I was baiting
why that you were trying to bait me into that conversation. I told myself we weren't going to get into it, but here the 20 is leading, so we better have a conversation.
Well, you've been wanting to talk about it all season, so I'm just glad that we were able to give you that opportunity.
Exactly.
Kim, what about the 8? It looks like Sammy Smith very strong now as he tries to take the spot away from Chandler.
Yeah, trying to make the dive as he goes side by side with Chandler Smith, making that move to get that pass, goes in the 2nd position. Sammy came into this race very confident. Remember last year he led a race high 147 laps. That's the most laps led he's ever in an Xfinity race done. Now that was with a different team, but that confidence carries over into this year. And this weekend, crew chief Philip Bell told me Sammy is young and he's learning what he wants from the car at most tracks. But Philip said this place, Sammy knows exactly what he wants. The car right now just building a little bit free. Remember, this team won with their backs against the wall in Talladega. They are ready to do it here tonight.
Yeah, Kelvin, you talked about him being a young driver, knowing what he needs at this racetrack. That's not just where to make speed, but decisions. It's, big wreck, big spin. Thought there was going to be big contact there in front of those cars, but fortunately everybody got by it.
This is the 53 that is around here, and that's Mason Maggio. And so it is the 6th caution that has come out at Martinsville. There's still 18 laps to go in stage 2.
Big decision here for the teams. You would like to pit now and stay out at the end of the stage. 147 laps is a little bit further than we think they can run on fuel, but from what I've seen with all these yellow, I would just imagine you're going to have enough yellows to save gas. I would actually be coming to pit road right here. I just don't think you can stay out and risk it. Now, if I'm the 00, as awful as this is to say, if I'm riding in 12, if everybody in front of me pits, I might stay out and just try to get the 10 stage points, just because I think points in the bank are so important for these cars. It's just another disagreement on real estate in the middle of the corner.
So Preston Pardus was behind that 53 of Maggio.
And after stage points were awarded for stage 1 and where the drivers came in, the 8 of Sammy Smith and the 1 of Sam Mayer now know that their fate is a must-win situation. There's no pathway forward for either of those on points. That was Sammy Smith coming in. Sam Mayer's now joined it after stage 1 points were awarded.
And of course that spin was right in front of the leader, Eric Almirola, and that's just that intensity of trying to stay on the lead lap.
So pit road's open. We'll see what the decision is at the front of the field.
Well,
I just think you have to come. From what I've seen in racing here today, the question is, what's the 00 do? Does he risk staying out for points, or does he come and just get tires and follow the field? Kim.
And for Sammy Smith, that first available box, he said the front end feels like it's on ice, the back end a little freed. We went out for the short run or the long run. Ultimately, they decided just the air pressure adjustment on those 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, Dave.
Justin Allgaier said his car is loose, loose, loose into the corner, plowing in the middle of the corner. Loose, loose, loose on corner exit. That's a lot of adjustment for crew chief Jim Pullman, Marty.
Dave, Jesse Love has his hands full. He says he has no grip on entry and cannot get it to turn in the center. He said, I just feel like I am way too slow on corner exit. Meanwhile, Chandler Smith, the very first stall here on pit road, he said it just over rotates on corner exit and I never get the rears underneath me. We'll see if they can gain a couple spots here on the 81, but they are going to actually lose a number of spots waiting on that left rear as Eric Almirola holds on to the lead here in the Progressive race off of pit road.
Looking for a cable news network which respects all Americans? Then you have a new home with News Nation. See why News Nation is America's fastest growing cable news network. To find News Nation on your screen, go to joinnn.com.
All right, buckle up, Rick. 4 drivers stayed on the racetrack. Ryan Sieg, Snyder, Poole, Smith, the Amarola first on tires, back in 5th. So the 4 cars, both front and second row, old tires. Going to be interesting. 10 laps to the end of the stage.
Can they hold off the fresh tires? We're about to find out. Through the restart zone they go. Ryan Sieg, after starting all the way at the back of this field, out in front. It's the first lap led here for Ryan Sieg. 3 wide behind him. We saw the 19 of William Sawalich is up here. Haven't said his name a lot yet. The youngster that will be moving into a Joe Gibbs Racing full-time ride.
That did a nice job. Remember, he had to start from the rear of the field, so has overcome that to get a little bit of track position. Almirola dives out of line on the 44. The 44 gives him enough space. The 20's going to take it.
He doesn't give him a lot of space, but the 20 taking advantage of that inside line and trying to take second away. Looking to sweep the stages if Almirola can catch up to that 28.
Sammy Smith was trying to get on the 18. I'm sorry, the 81. I'm sorry, the 18 of Creed. Couldn't get it done. Creed got back in front of him.
7 of Allgaier on the inside of that 98 of Riley Herbst. Creed still trying to get in front of the 91 of Snyder.
And I want to give the 91 of Snyder, the 44 of Brendan Poole credit. I thought they were going to be in real trouble in these old tires, but they're holding on, getting some racing near the front of the field.
Now Allgaier tries to get by Myatt.
Remember, Myatt was in that accident.
Yeah,
early in the race. Oh, got put
he got
to the
shoved
wide.
up the racetrack again. So Myatt Snyder pushed out of the way there, and he'll lose a couple spots.
And I'm telling you, crew chiefs are watching this. Ryan Sieg on 60-lap older tires has a chance to win this stage. That's going to change decisions at the end of this race, whether you come for tires or not.
Sammy Smith in the 8 working by that 44 as well. Here comes the 7 of Allgaier, fresher tires.
The 00. It's 1 car between the 7 and the 00 now. They could be in a tight point battle.
Yeah, Chandler Smith is that car. Again, it's so important to keep track of the points for the 7 and the 00 because one of those 2 are going to advance based on points. If someone below that line wins this race. 3 laps to go in stage 2.
Nice job by Ryan Sieg. He battled for all he could, but once the 20 got to his quarter panel, he just gave him the bottom, and now he's going to battle on the top. I don't think it's going to be just an easy drive for the 20. This top lane has worked.
And he keeps that 20 pinched down. 2 laps to go. And here comes Sheldon Creed as well in the 18. Sieg holding tough on the outside. Almirola diving into 3. Has the advantage as he comes off of 4. Almirola one more time around in stage 2.
And that Sieg just hung a left off the 4 to try to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Stay in front of the 18 of Creed. He does, and it looks as though Almirola is going to sweep the stages here at Martinsville. He wins stage 1, and now he'll win stage 2. Sieg holding on for second. Very impressive on the older tires. Sheldon Creed is 3rd. Sammy Smith, Allgaier rounding out the top 5. Chandler Smith, Cole Custer, Riley Herbst, William Sawalich, and Brennan Poole finishing off the top 10. It's been an interesting 2 stages. 1 to go here in Martinsville to determine the Champ 4.
whiteboard for him to explain that one.
Well, of course. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. The Progressive Keys to Progress program, providing vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com. And by National Debt Relief, helping you become debt-free. So just a couple. We're on pit road as we're getting ready for the start of stage 3, the final stage. The gap in points between the 7 and the 00 is 10 points. Oh boy, are you guys hungry? We got the hot dog stand. Yes, and it is a staple here at Martinsville. Just like the grandfather clock, people line up for the hot dogs here at Martinsville, almost as famous as the racetrack.
Take deliveries up here.
Next week, CW Sports Saturday returns with wall-to-wall action. First, it's ACC football. Then San Jose State heads to Corvallis to face Oregon State, followed by NASCAR Xfinity Series racing in Phoenix, where the champion is going to be crowned. Finally, under the lights in Pullman, Utah State faces number 22 Washington State. CW Sports Saturday next week. That's starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW. You are watching the National Debt Relief 250 from Martinsville Speedway. DJ, all right, Almirola, he won stage 1, he's won stage 2. Are we going to see him sweep Martinsville?
You know, he's the biggest problem for the guys that are in a must-win situation. I mean, Sammy Smith and Chandler Smith are both running good right up there, but if they can't beat that 20 car, then that's not going to do them any good. And I think Eric Almirola is their biggest issue in making that happen.
I'm a little bit surprised also by this 28 of Ryan C.
That makes 2 of us, Rick. That's up pit road about 90 laps ago. We'll have to see what their plans are. You can add Jesse Love to the list of must wins with the points awarded. The 2 cars. So now the 8, the 1, and the 2 all must win. Those 6 points earned in the stages for Jesse Loves were not enough to keep him mathematically possible to advance on points.
Ready, green, 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 green.
Final stage is underway. Almirola, Creed making up the front row. Ryan Sieg slides up the racetrack in that 28, and a little bit of an opening there for the 7, but Allgaier doesn't take it. Creed, the bumper to the back of the 20.
Watch this 8 car. He needs to win. He's got a good race car. Basically, it's a battle to try to get to that 28 on a little bit older tires. Can the 8 car get down to the bottom of the racetrack?
Steve, the guys that came on lap 105, are they good for fuel?
I would imagine they're probably just a little short, or they're thinking they're either going to get enough yellows if they come right away to save gas, or if maybe halfway through the run you're going to pit and take tires anyway. I imagine is what they're thinking.
And that's what the situation is for Almirola and Creed right now. Those two up front. Allgaier, Custer, Sammy Smith, Chandler Smith, all on that same strategy.
Contact right there. 0-0 into the back of the 7.
Well, that's one way to gain the 10 points that he's got the advantage on. You just push him out of the way and send him up the racetrack. Now the 19 of William Sawalich is in the wall.
Rear push back.
Heavy damage.
Guys.
Shortened the back of that car up considerably.
He'd done a good job working himself up from the back of the pack. He's running in 10th place. He locked the front, maybe locked the left front up a little bit and checked up a little bit more. That's not the left front.
Could that have been some wheel hop there?
I don't think so. It's odd
that
looking.
smoke came out quick.
Very odd looking. Maybe the smoke's off the 5 car of Alfredo. That is very weird.
So William Sawalich gets into the wall, brings out the caution for the 8th time here at Martinsville. Jeff, let's diagnose this incident we saw with William Swallich once again.
Watch the right rear tire of the 19 car. So he drives in the corner, goes to the brake, and when he does, the right rear tire is locked up. And then the 5 into the back of him, and around he goes. Now that's something we can see tomorrow with the next gen car, but I'm not sure I've ever seen that in one of these cars where the right rear just slides. It wasn't wheel hopping, it was just locked up.
Marty.
Rick, it's been a struggle today for Jesse Love. They came in, they made a massive chassis change on the 2 car, gave up a ton of track position on the restart 32nd, Dave.
I checked in with the crew chief, Marty Lindley, about the status of Sam Mayer's car, damaged earlier. He said, yeah, it's speed up pretty good, but it's actually pretty fast. Sam is moving forward, and remember, he has to win to advance to the championship 4.
Must-win situations for 3 of the 4 that were below that cut line. And back to the restart. Sheldon Creed on the outside, Almirola on the inside. Teammates up front again. And Joe Gibbs Racing, they have led half of the laps on short tracks this season. That's how good they have been.
It's been a very broken up race. I'm sorry, Rick, with all the yellows. I'm waiting for the thing to settle in and see who has the best car if we can get a 60-70 lap run.
I was going to say Ryan Sieg in that 28 still running up here in the top 4, and surprising because he was on pit road last at lap 39. Now Sieg under attack from the 00 of Cole Custer, Dave.
Ricky's got to watch it now because Chandler Smith is going to try to get under there too while he's stuck in the high line. I did check with his crew chief, Matt Noyce, about their strategy. He said there's usually a caution, actually use the word always, about 30 laps into this final stage. That's when we make our last stop. And remember, earlier on old tires, the 28 was exceptional. So if everyone else jumps for a late caution, they stay out, and Ryan leapfrogs back to the front. That's the plan.
Well, they've been out there for a long time, but of the laps they've run, 46 of them have been under yellow. So, you know, he saved quite a bit of fuel. We can see how far he can go.
He's got Jeff Burton fighting behind him now as Chandler Smith just in front of him.
Oh, big block right there.
We'll see how Jeff Burton plays that.
Yeah, that was a super aggressive block.
Allgaier to the outside of the 00 of Cole Custer. This will be interesting to watch these two. Custer clearing the 7, and let's listen into the radio a moment ago on the 7.
00 better watch what tree he's barking up. I can tell you that right now.
Heard that.
They ain't our fault. Their strategy stuck.
Okay, so those two, we mentioned it.
Well, that was from a moment ago. I wonder if Justin has the same opinion as he drives off the front of the 7.
Yeah, and the strategy is pretty interesting. 2 completely different strategies.
It has been, hasn't it?
Right, but only 1 point difference in the points earned so far today. And the 00 in front of the 7, so the strategy wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that advantage goes to the 7 as far as points gained, but
I like a feisty Justin Allgaier, though, right? I think that's the attitude you have to have by looking at this race today.
Great battle for the lead.
Yeah, Creed has worked to that outside line, and we saw Sheldon Creed show great speed here a year ago, and then it was Sheldon Creed and the 21 of Austin Hill that got into each other. Next thing you know, there are some very disappointed people, and it didn't just stop with the guys behind the wheel. The executives at RCR were frustrated. Now we're seeing Sheldon Creed using that high line, and it's working for him.
That outside line's been very effective today. I feel like some of that is all the rubber laid down on the racetrack from the Cup cars. A lot of practice.
7 car is falling back. The 00 got by him. Now the 81. And what really matters for the 7, if you look down here, it's a 6-point gap between him and Custer. Because remember, a new winner moves that line, which means the guy in 4th is not safe. That's why there's the battle between them. Voltage issue, it sounds like, on Bubba Pollard. Late model racer from all around the country came here for Sam Hunt Racing. Sounds like they have a battery or an alternator issue.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
I think he's going to make it to pit road here, and so he'll get on pit road. We don't see the caution coming out for him. And the battle for the lead continues between Joe Gibbs Racing drivers.
A lot of respect at the front of the pack. Two Joe Gibbs drivers, as you just mentioned, showing each other a lot of respect. 20's a little bit quicker, but Creed's like, hey, I'm going to just sit up here and run the outside. I'm going to give you the bottom. You can have it.
Now the 20's running that higher line as well, but then dives down to the curbing on exit of 4. Slid up the racetrack there.
All right, so now Almirola, with this much track position, I think he'll just take this spot. I think he'll drive in the corner, not go to the bottom of the racetrack, in the middle of the corner, just like that. Run the 18 out of the groove and take the spot.
Sheldon Creed continuing that second line, but falls back. Now a car link behind the 20 of Almirola. Under 100 laps remaining, 96 to go here in Martinsville. Shadows getting longer as the grandstands blocking the sunlight out as the 18 way up the racetrack there and potentially losing a spot. Nicole Custer gains it back, but an issue there for Creed. Lost a lot of that track position he had on Almirola. Cole Custer now dives in behind the 18 of Creed. Let's look again what happened here.
He'd been working the outside of the racetrack and just cooked it in there a little bit too hot. Pretty impressive he was able to jump back on the outside of the 00 with that much debris on his tires, and still held the spot.
Tell this 18 I got to win.
I wonder if Sheldon Creed, who has finished second 13 times, is going to say, oh, you need to win? Oh, okay.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. It's funny how everybody wants a favor.
And Cole Custer's going to push the point. Gets to the back bumper of the 18. Cole Custer trying to get by the 18 and getting a little frustrated. That's Jeff Burton's rotor there. The Celsius on board. Things are getting hot here at Martinsville. It's time for double the thrill and double the fun. You can enter for a chance to win an unforgettable trip to Universal Orlando Resort, followed by a VIP experience for the 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series opening weekend. Scan the QR code or visit the CWSweeps.com now to enter. We have seen some fast laps here at Martinsville. Let's take a look at the Xfinity fastest lap, and that was turned by Chandler Smith all the way back on lap 7. 20.64 seconds, averaging around this paperclip shaped half mile over 91 miles an hour. See up the racetrack there, looked like that might have been the 21 of Austin Hill. We're riding along with Chandler Smith. And Kim, how about Cole Custer running third right now?
Yeah, this team put everything into this race car. They felt like, yes, they would be racing the 7 of Justin Allgaier all day long, but more than that, they wanted to come out and win here and leave no questions unanswered. And so they made adjustments on the car. They've been good here in the past, but they don't have a Martinsville clock. And remember, this team shutting down at the end of the year, everyone, the team told me, on the Cup side of Stewart-Haas Racing and on the Xfinity side of things have touched this team. So it's going to mean a huge deal if they get the opportunity to run for a championship next weekend. Marty, right now, Cole just saying it's building a little bit loose on this longer run now that we've seen a longer green flag.
Kim, Steve mentioned a moment ago, it's really been a truncated race today. We haven't had a long run all afternoon. Chandler Smith is hoping that right now is that long run of the day. They felt like in practice they had maybe the best long run car, but Smith said on the radio just a moment ago, Dave, he feels like the track is changing as it cools down and more rubber gets laid down as well.
Marty, for Justin Allgaier, his car is not perfect, but they've done what they need to do today as Riley Herbst takes another look in the 98 there. They've matched the 00, Cole Custer, who they're fighting in points, in the stage points basically, and now they're keeping him in check, just a couple of cars between them. Jim Pullman told me, I've never come here watching my friend or as crew chief for Justin Allgaier without it being a gut-wrenching situation. I'd just like to come here one time and be locked in as the caution comes out.
So the caution comes out, and I was just getting ready to say I hate to deliver the bad news to the 28 team and Matt Noyce, because there wasn't a caution about 30 laps to go, or 30 laps into the final stage, and then the caution does come out. So we're going to see Ryan Sieg come to pit road here. Preston Pardus in the 50 can't get turned around.
Yes, he and Kyle Sieg racing for position, running 24th. Car goes around quickly on corner entry. That's why. Contact.
So damage to the back of Preston Pardus.
Here you go. Left front locks up on Sieg's car. Car doesn't turn with the left front not turning, and contact.
So
before
impressive.
These pit stops,
yep.
Before these pit stops start, we talk a lot about the playoff guys, but running back in 8th place, Anthony Alfredo, instead on Tool Chevrolet, he's having a really good day. Started on the outside pole and still running inside the top 10.
He was one of those drivers, you know, we mentioned it, between he and Parker Retzlaff, those really difficult teams as far as manpower, the resources that they have to be able to run with the big teams, the Joe Gibbs Racing, the Colleague Racing, RCR.
And behind him,
there,
Jeff Burton and the Jordan Anderson racing car as well. 2 solid runs by these teams.
All right, Steve, strategy-wise. I think this is it. Everybody comes to pit road, put your last set of good years on. You have about 74 to go. There'll be no question on fuel. Adjustments are really going to matter as the sun starts to set. Track cools. We've heard the track changing on multiple radios. Who makes the right adjustments?
Well, now I'm going to say a lot of people might have a last set of tires, but we know Ryan Sieg's got a couple sitting down there. This is the first time we're seeing him after lap 39. And down to Progressive Pit Road, and Kim.
Let's stop with the stop of Sammy Smith. He said it fired off tight, then sliding the rears towards the later part of that run. They will make a track bar adjustment for fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. Top right, Cole Custer, he said it was loose, so they will take an adjustment, go one round back on their last adjustment as they take tires and fuel, Dave.
Justin Allgaier gives up 5th for Goodyear tires and fuel. He needs it to be tighter on takeoff, Marty.
First pit stall on pit road. Chandler Smith said we're better the longer we run, but we need more. He said they can wrap the corner and finish the corner just way better than I can. And when I go to the throttle on corner exit, I just lose all of my rear traction. They're also going to lose a few spots here on pit road for Chandler Smith as Eric Almirola once again holds serve here on Progressive Pit Road, Rick.
Yeah, that race on Progressive Pit Road was interesting because Creed and Custer were side by side as they came off of pit road. Speaking of side by side, well, Kyle Sieg was on the inside of Preston Pardis, and this is what brought out the caution. I know it. I saw that. Next Saturday, it all comes down to this. A champion will be crowned in the desert. See which of the 4 remaining drivers bring home that title. The NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship from Phoenix next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on the CW. And when we're talking about the championship 4, DJ, are we going to include the 81? Chandler Smith, can he do something here and get up there and win this race?
He's the only one that looks like that he has the speed to possibly make that happen. His problem is he's got 2 Joe Gibbs racing cars that he's going to have to get through. And yeah, that's going to be a big issue. Looks like maybe Creed's getting a penalty here, so might not have to worry about him.
Yeah,
and
speeding on pit road.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just so difficult. I mean, Eric Almirola's been so solid. So basically what I'm going to watch is make sure that Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier don't get in anything crazy here, and they'll be racing for a championship once again next week.
The choose taking place now as Almirola and Custer will be lined up on the front row.
It should just really calm down from here, Rick. Last 69 laps.
Sure.
I mean, it took about 5 yellows to get the first 60 laps done. There's no telling how many cautions we're going to have in the last 69.
Yeah, this is normally the time of race it gets really, really calm.
Everybody takes a deep breath, cold drink of water.
Oh, my goodness.
And just letting guys by, you know, don't get too aggressive.
Generally, there's so many cautions between now and the end of the race, the cost of metal goes up. I mean, it's...
Our friend Greg appreciates that. And now, pace car puts field back in the hands of Almirola in that 20. Almirola, Custer, green flag back in the air.
Riley Herbst did not get a good start at all.
00 is going to try to work his way between the 7 and the 20.
That opening is there, and now little bumper cars there as the 81 got into the back of the 7 got into the back of 00, and the caution's out.
Did the 7 let the 00 in?
The 92 was around, and that's why the caution is out.
It's an odd look down the backstretch.
Dawson Cram, it was an odd look.
Either the 7 didn't get off the corner well, or I don't know why he would let him in. But.
That's caution number 10. So this is what you guys were predicting. There might be a caution or two to end this race. This time it's Dawson Cram going up the racetrack and brings out the yellow flag. Represent your favorite driver during the playoffs, and you can take advantage of amazing deals at the NASCAR shop. Check out the greatest selection of t-shirts, die-cast hats, much more. Visit NASCAR.com/shop. So beautiful here in the fall, and the Commonwealth of Virginia really showing up, Jeff.
Yeah, huge race fans here. They know they're racing. They're smart about it. Always had great crowds at this racetrack.
Dave.
Rick, the crowd saw Eric Almirola win here at Martinsville in the April race. I asked his crew chief, Tyler Allen, did y'all need to make any improvements at all, anything at all? And he goes, I needed my driver to give us more at the front end of the run. There's Tyler Allen there. Tyler said we were very vulnerable on the continued restarts at the end of the race. Eric had to get up on the wheel more for me, and I had made an adjustment in the car as well. But he said basically the driver is going to help us do better even then, leading right now, Kim.
And for Shane Van Gisbergen, running in the 9th position, would love a top 10 here at Martinsville. And crew chief Kevin Walter was very complimentary about SVG. He said he's so comfortable here because with the shifting, the tight turns, hitting the apexes, it's very similar to what he came from running supercars. He also said Shane is phenomenal with the braking, and we know how important modulating the braking is here. So looking for a top 10 after finishing 11th here in the spring for SVG.
All right, let's listen in to Sam Mayer's radio.
When we're switched on, we're switched on, right? So when we're off, we're off. So we all need to get switched on. You've done great today. Stay with it here. Stay locked in. We are not quitting until this thing goes on the truck tonight.
Yes, sir. Wide open, baby. Let's go.
Wide open.
How do you feel about my over-under on yellows now after the pep talk, Rick? Feeling like the over might hit?
No, I'm sticking with it. We're not getting there. All right. 60 laps remaining from Martinsville to determine the championship 4.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Jeb Burton looking good in the 27. Little contact made there between the 1 and the 8. Sam Mayer drifted up and got into Sammy Smith.
See Riley Herbst in that 98 car. If he can get a good corner exit right here, he might can clear the 7.
You mentioned the 27 who were on board right here with the Celsius onboard camera. Let's not forget, his teammate was the pole sitter. So Jordan Anderson Racing bringing 2 fast cars. It didn't work out well for Parker Utzloff. Jeb Burton, though, still in the battle.
Oh, Jeb stuck behind the 98. There you go. That's what you need. Now use the momentum to try to roll by the 81. That didn't work out for him.
No, the 98 checked up in front of him. Jeb Burton, one of 2 Virginia natives in the field, and now he's trying that outside line.
That's what you need on these restarts. When you're on the outside, you need cars driving and diving to the bottom to try to get there. But you got to make this pass quickly. If not, eventually the bottom is going to be preferred. Jeb Burton clears it.
Yeah, Riley Herbst got a little bit loose there, and Jeb Burton clears. Here comes Sam Mayer now.
Sam Mayer drove that thing down into turn 3 and cleared the 98 in just 1 set of corners. Now that's how you do it. Don't burn up a lot of tire making the pass. Get it done and move forward.
How about Anthony Alfredo? He's still in the mix here in that number 5.
He
Alfredo running in that 9th position.
SVG's doing a nice job, and he's getting ready to get a full contact. I know they beat and bag in V8 supercars where this is going to be a new level of aggression, I believe.
Parker Kligerman looking to the inside in that 48.
Great run for the 48. Remember, he started last on the field after brake issues in practice, so Parker almost had that walk-off win at the Roval. Was what, maybe 3 feet away from the white flag that would have given him the win.
The 7 car is not as good as he needs to be, and Chandler Smith knows it. Just at some point, caution's out.
Back at time.
And Blaine Perkins in the 29 involved. We saw another car just from Josh Williams in the 11.
Wide.
Race for 16th here, and Creed on the inside started that accordion effect.
Remember, Creed trying to come back from a penalty, makes a late move, all but wrecking, getting into the corner, slides up in front of the 29, takes Josh Williams with him. Look at this late move. And then the lockup, saw a little bit of wheel hop. It's a bit over aggressive in my eyes.
Sheldon Creed will be racing for the Haas factory team in 2025, still in the Xfinity series. See the donut on the side of that number 18. That was caution 11, so we're seeing 10 straight races here at Martinsville where the flagman has been very busy. Josh Williams not happy. I'm sure he was given the information, and that sends Creed up onto the curb.
Yeah, I understand that. You know, I get it. You know, 18 is trying to work himself up from the back of the pack, but got to be a little bit more respectful than that.
The choose is going to happen, and we'll restart from Martinsville, but it's caution number 11 coming out for this. two's about to happen. 49 laps remaining from Martinsville. Now, a grandfather clock, the trophy on the line, but also spots in the championship 4 in Phoenix on the line. DJ, what wins out here? The race for that trophy or those guys trying to make it into the championship 4?
Yeah, I think Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer's right there. They have to give everything to have. They might not have the car exactly to get there, but they have to take advantage on these restarts. Just a little bit of a nudge can get you a spot, and then the next time that we have a caution, because Steve thinks there's a few more, then you have to be aggressive once again. This is your season right here, your opportunity to race for a championship.
Almirola has never lost when leading at least 100 laps in the Xfinity Series, and Almirola just went over that 100 mark. He's led 101 laps. Sun setting behind the grandstands as 48 laps remain. And Steve, you're pretty sure that there's going to be at least one more caution?
Oh, at least. I think one is a safe bet.
Chandler Smith working that outside line in the 81.
Chandler needs this spot.
Allgaier not willing to give it up.
If Chandler can have good exit speed right here, he might could get it. Right there, he's got good rear grip. There he is, cleared him.
Up to third for Chandler Smith. Now Cole Custer, he does not want to see Chandler Smith get by him. If Chandler Smith gets by and challenges for the race win, that would mean Cole Custer could get knocked out of the championship 4.
Oh, contact right here.
Yeah, the one
Smith
and the
up
8.
the track.
They've been trading blows. The 8 moved the 1 up. Now the 1's moved the 8 back up.
Uh-oh, watch out.
The good thing is they don't race for the same. Oh, wait a minute. They do race for the same team. But we've seen that numerous times where teammates have ended up moving one out of the other. Here's Sam Mayer. Bouncing off the wall there.
They're just pushing hard on this restart. Just overstepped the bounds just a little bit.
Mayer got into the back of the 8.
Yeah, so now when the 8 gets, here you go. Big pass right here. If he can get to this 0-0.
Chandler Smith working the 0-0 of Cole Custer. Didn't trade any paint there. He's still on the bottom. Another clean turn.
Oh, big entry. Gonna try to turn underneath. 81's better right now.
Chandler Smith on social media earlier today said, "Today, I'll fight, I'll claw, I'll drive like my life depends on it. Regardless of the outcome, this has been one of the best, most fun I've had in racing in years. Let's ride, 81 team." Well, now under 40 laps to go, and Chandler Smith running third with a possibility of fighting for that win.
Oh, good chance right here. Cole's got to leave a little bit lower.
Very defensive entry. The 0-0 is shallow into the corner.
I feel like this 0-0 is not as good as it was earlier in the race.
And now nose to tail, here comes Allgaier. He's getting back in the mix here. Custer's holding up the 81.
I love what the 7 did right there. Really high entry, no pressure from behind. He has the opportunity to do something very different. Once again, high entry. He's going to roll the top, try to turn down, get a good acceleration off the bottom.
And currently, as the way it sits, if this 81 was able to get by the 0-0, then get by the 20 of Almirola and wins this race, the 0-0 would be out.
Right here, you got him.
They need to hunt the spotter for Justin Allgaier in the 7. We just heard him say, you got him. Coming up on the lap traffic. As we look at the Toyota driver update, Chandler Smith, what a day. He started 3rd. He has led laps here. Furthest he's been back has been 12th. But in a situation where he has to win this race now. 35 laps to go. And we saw what he said earlier on social. Whatever it takes. Driving like his life depends on it.
I think if he could get underneath the 00 again, he's just going to take the spot because he's a little bit quicker. And with the laps winding down, he's got to do it. That doesn't mean he has to wreck him or
needs to
ship
move
him
it
out of the way. But if he drives underneath him, then just use all the racetrack and take the spot.
The gap back from Almirola to Cole Custer is 1.6 seconds. Marty and Chandler Smith running 3rd.
Yeah, Chandler Smith doing everything he can, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, Rick, about Chandler Smith having nothing for next year. He has no job prospects right now and does not have a ride in 2025. So, Jeff, what do desperate drivers do in a situation like this? This could be Chandler Smith's career. He has been racing for the better part of his entire life, and this could be one of his final few races. So what would you be willing to do, Jeff, knowing that, hey, a title shot could be right in front of you tonight?
Well, you can see it right here, Marty. Yeah, Chandler Smith's not a dirty driver. He's an aggressive driver, but he's not dirty. But time's running out, and he's quicker than the 00. So you can see him doing everything in his power to drive clean, to give Cole Custer.
There's the bump getting in, out of the way he goes.
That's exactly what at some point he had to do. Now what does Cole Custer do?
Oh, and a caution comes out just as the pass was made. The 9 of Brandon Jones is around.
Now keep in mind, that pass now puts Chandler Smith starting on the front row if that's where he chooses. Brandon Jones with big damage here.
Steve, I saw you put a mark on a piece of paper there. That's 2 since you made the comment earlier that there was going to be a few more.
Absolutely.
A lot of damage to Brandon Jones's number 9.
Well, it's not just 2 yellows, but it's 2 for 2 for Sheldon Creed. Just right in the back of the 9. I don't know if they had contact earlier. I don't know exactly what caused it other than 18 is way too deep into the corner. And contact with the 9. So we don't know the whole story, whether there was something a lap or 2 earlier, but there's, like I said, 2 for 2 for the 18.
So the pass that we just saw with Chandler Smith getting by Cole Custer. Typical Bristol, or excuse me, typical Martinsville?
Yes, to Bristol as well.
Yeah, both of them.
But, you know, look, that's aggressive, but it's not dirty in the situation that Chandler Smith's in. He didn't wreck him. He moved him out of the way. This, you know, this point system puts you in the situations where you have to be willing to do things like this. And, you know, that's far from wrecking Cole Custer. That's as politely as you can do that, is moving somebody out of the way without wrecking them.
Well, there's some history. Let's not forget, and it hasn't been that long. We go all the way back to Kansas, the 81, the 00. This was batting for the lead back in September, and I mean, I thought it looked pretty reasonable, right? The 81 just kind of clears himself off the corner. He just knew he had to make it happen. The 00 had to get out of the gas. Then they had a conversation after. Cole was not very happy with Chandler. And I believe, I agree with Jeff that wasn't, he didn't wreck the 00, but I believe now the 00 doesn't have to have a lot of patience with the 81. I think he can just send him out of the way when he gets to the rear bumper of the 81.
It was a permission slip, right?
Yeah.
When you move somebody, you have to understand that now you've given them a permission slip to move you. So that's just how it works, right? You try to race people the way they race you. You also understand the situation they're in, but you're in a situation as well. You're trying to get done what you need to get done to go to Phoenix, just like Smith is.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, but now you you know, when it comes back. This is going to be a very interesting choose because does the 81 take the front row and allow the 00 to take inside row 2?
What does Amarola pick? Does he pick the bottom? Because I can't pick the bottom. I cannot give someone the outside and let them enter turn 1 with me on the outside because they can beat me off of turn 2 and take the lead.
Let's listen in to Cole Custer's radio.
Mick Reynolds says dogs off the porch. Yep. We're here with you, so you just, I think we'll go fight and race these last laps, and whatever happens here, I'm proud of you, buddy. Yep, 10-4.
All right, Kim, let's hear from the crew chief.
Yeah, Jonathan Tony calling the shots for Cole Custer. We heard you tell him, whatever you do, I'm proud of you. What do you want to see Cole do on this restart?
Well, you know, it's going to be a hard race here. Them 2 Gibbs cars are awful fast. We got a little bit too free right here, but we know our man can dig down deep whenever it comes that time, so we got all the faith in the world in him.
All right. You know, the other thing I noticed about Cole Custer and that his fire suit back in Kansas, NXT,
oh yeah,
on the CW, he's got the wrestlers behind him now too. So if he has any altercations, he's got, you know, muscle behind him.
And he had those moves.
Yeah, he had the moves. Getting ready to choose. All right, so we're going to find out. Almirola, Custer, Chandler Smith, where will they line up for the restart? It'll be 24 laps remaining.
Oh, I knew he wasn't going to go follow him. So I think this is an opportunity for Chandler Smith. I know historically you want to pick the bottom. Cole Custer lined up behind him. Historically, you want to pick the bottom. But if Chandler Smith can exit turn 2 door to door with the 20, I think he has the advantage down the back straightaway.
I cannot believe the 00 took the top of row 2.
A little surprising.
I like the top of row 1. I get your point there, but the top of row 2 is surprising. Now he obviously has a reason. We're getting ready to see it.
If the 81 could clear the 20, then the 00 could also clear the 20 because when you're on the bottom and if your car doesn't turn in the middle of the corner, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, 24 laps remain. And the decision as to who the championship for is about to be decided. And an issue with the 1. There was some contact there on the restart.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke coming out of the 1. I don't know if that's fluid or just a tire rub, but heavy damage on the 1. The 81 up the racetrack, 00 up the racetrack. Cars wrecking behind.
A lot of smoke behind the 1 of Mayer. We stay green.
That all worked out great for the 7 of Allgaier.
Oh, and around goes the 28 in the back. And so Ryan Sieg is around and brings out the caution. That's 3.
So we got to have to see that whole replay again. It was a stack up, and then I was so focused on the damage on the
1.
The 1 that next thing I knew, the 81 was 3 lanes up. All right, let's see what happens. The 1, third car on the bottom with Sam Mayer. There's the stack up. Now we're going to go down to turn 1. Look at the left side of your screen. The 00. Oh, there you go. The 00 is just going to shove the 81 out of the way, but it hurts the 00 as well.
Well, it hurts the 00, but it takes the 81 out of the position to win the race.
Yeah.
But who it does help is the 8. Watch the 8. He's in the same position also that he has to win this race. Look what happens. He drives all the way to 3rd. So you hurt one guy's chance, but you helped another's.
Yeah, Cole Custer focusing on the 81 may have let the 8 slip by, and now the 8 is in contention. There's all the damage to the 1 of Sam Mayer.
Yeah, I think it's knocked the radiator out of this right here. Kind of see some fluid underneath the hood or something. Yeah, they're looking down underneath there. Let's listen into the 00.
I mean, it comes around, it goes around. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think nobody blames you for any of that, so.
But it's not effective.
It's definitely, it could hurt him.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, it's easy to say, hey, you push me around, I'm willing to push you around, but you were running 3rd. Now you're running 6th, and you put the 8 car in position to win this race. So, yeah, okay, I got you back, but it hurt you. It didn't help you.
And that stack up will end the opportunity for the 1. They'll have to go behind the wall.
Sam Mayer, his championship hopes are done. And I believe this is a record of DNFs for Junior Motorsports this year. I think the number now is up to 27 DNFs for that organization.
All right, so now a little reset here. That 8 car, he is in a position he has to win a race. Great restart for him. All that worked out. And he is going to be super aggressive.
So if you're Allgaier, you know, if the 8 wins, let's just review everything. If the 8 wins, that moves the cut line. So that eliminates Custer. But, you know, Custer's only 12, you know, Allgaier's only 12 points in front of Custer. You could go down in the last corner on the last lap and lose 12 points.
Yes.
So I can't believe the 7's just going to allow the 8 to go on by. That would shock me.
No, the worst thing the last thing he wants is for that 8 car to win. But at the same token, you can't just pull over. But look, this is what's hard about racing. You have to recognize the situation that you're in, and the situation for the 7 car. He is in a great opportunity with points, no matter who wins the race. So just race the way you race. Just be you in this situation. Don't change anything.
Listen into the 81 radio.
What he's going to do is screw around it and knock himself out of the playoffs here. Does that kind of stuff.
What he's going to do is get a beat after the race. He keeps around, little punk.
All right, we'll be good here. We'll be good.
And Chandler Smith's not happy about the way he's been raced by Cole Custer. Now, remember, the 8 and the 7 are on the same team, Junior Motorsports. So if the 8 goes up there and wins this race and wins his way in, that puts 2 Junior Motorsports cars in the Champ 4.
If the 7 beats the 00 by enough points.
But he's ahead by 12.
Yeah, but if 12, to Steve's point, in one lap you could lose 12 positions. It's a point of position, and the 00 has the opportunity to gain some spots. So if you're the 7 car of Allgaier, you can't be doing anything to help the 8 here.
And let's take another look at why the caution came out. It wasn't the 1. It was actually the 28 of Ryan Sieg there. Shane Van Gisbergen in the 97 was behind him.
Early in the race, this 8 car was fast. Some of that speed has gone away, but
Almirola,
look at this.
And look at that. Allgaier goes to the bottom.
I think that's a guy saying there's less chance of me getting spun out from the bottom lane.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's...
Well, look at Cole Custer.
Yeah.
He could have pulled up all the way behind the 8 car, and he decided not to.
Which is crazy, because that's where he decided to line up for 3rd.
Didn't work out so well. Nope, not doing that again.
It will be 16 laps to go.
The choose has been something, I think we overlooked just how much it plays into some of these races. All these years, you just lined up where you had to.
This is a great opportunity for Sammy Smith.
Sammy Smith.
Look, here's the deal for Sammy Smith. If you can leave the restart zone next to the 20 car, you are in great spot.
Sammy Smith came in 95 points below the cut line. He has to win to go to the championship 4.
Oh, he got the start he needed, but something happened where he couldn't keep the pace on the front straightaway.
Either wheel spin or the shift. It did not work in the second half. Now they will clear the 7, though. Puts him in position.
He's running 2nd.
That's what I was talking about, the outside lane. It'll work for a lap or 2.
Now, how good of a car does Sammy Smith have? Can he go up there and fight for this win? Almirola had pulled away to about 3 car lengths of a lead. Allgaier under fire from the 98. And Chandler Smith also moving back up. How about the 18 of Sheldon Creed coming back in the picture?
Now the 81 side by side with the 7. The 8 and the 81 are both must-win situations. The only advancement is a win.
And the 8's running a 20 down. At last lap, he was faster.
13 laps to go. The gap still a little over a car length. Almirola, the veteran, Cup racing a year ago, retired, said wasn't going to Cup race, full time. He's going to run a limited Xfinity Series schedule. He's doing that for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's already won twice behind the wheel of this 20 car and looking to sweep the Martinsville races. He won in the spring earlier. Things bottling up here. Brandon Jones in the 9. He comes back to pit road.
And the 8 is closing in inch by inch on the rear bumper. Look how far the 8 drives into the corner.
Don't overdrive it.
Custer and Allgaier. They're running side by side. Those two currently are in based on points.
I like Allgaier's decision there. There's no reason to race the 0-0. That's not going to help.
If the 8 gets by the 20, that will change. It would be Cole Custer being knocked out of the championship 4.
Rear grip starting to come out of that 8 car. Wasn't able to leave the corner quite as well that time. He is pushing hard, and behind him, Smith is coming.
9 laps to go. Is there enough time for Chandler Smith to get into the picture?
Can you imagine being in Cole Custer's car right now? Looking out the windshield, seeing 2 cars with a chance to win this race, and it knocks you out of the playoffs.
How much is he cheering for Eric Almirola right now?
Oh, he's a huge fan.
Do not let them past you.
And Eric knows that he cannot let the 8 car get to his rear bumper. If he does, he's going around, or at least get moved out of the way.
The 8 car is so strong on corner entry. I can't believe he can make the middle of the corner with some of the entry speed he's carrying. Not really gaining on the 20 anywhere else, but on corner entry, he can pull all the way up.
7 to go.
Watch how much he closes in right here.
Almirola still a car length ahead through the center of the turn. 6 to go.
I think the 8's going to have a shot. I think with a couple laps to go, he's going to have to make a decision.
But one mistake and he won't.
Correct.
As he's trying to push the edge and find the speed, if he oversteps it, the 20 will get away from him.
Only 5 more times around. Sammy Smith, can he get to the back bumper of the 20? Chandler Smith has not been able to close the gap. Running in that 3rd spot.
Sammy Smith, 20 years old. Eric Almirola, 40 years old.
Coming up on 3 to go. 3 laps left. The pass for the win came in the final 2 laps in 4 of the last 5 races here at Martinsville.
I feel like the 8 needs to try just a little bit wider entry or something to help his mid-corner speed. He's so good on entry, but he just can't roll the middle good enough to stay close.
For sure, really good laps. He'll see you.
Almirola has led 148 laps today. He has put together one of the best races we've seen this year. He won stage 1, he won stage 2, and now he's coming up on the final lap.
Catch a lap traffic right here. He's got to time this out, not to be next to Jeremy Clemens in the corner. Jeremy Clemens moves out of the way. Great move.
1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. Clemens way up the racetrack. He's letting him race for the win. Almirola through 3 and 4 for the final time. And it will be Eric Almirola. He'll win at Martinsville.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Another grandfather clock, and with that, that means that Cole Custer and Allgaier are going to race for a championship as we see the 20 come up. And the 8 of Sammy Smith got beside him, congratulate him. So now Allgaier advancing to that championship 4, and based on points, Cole Custer will try to defend a title he won a year ago.
And Sammy Smith and Chandler Smith, neither one are going to make it, but a very good job by both of those guys to put themselves in position.
What a day for Chandler Smith and Sammy Smith. Both doing everything they could. Sammy Smith falling 1 position short. Chandler Smith 2 positions short. Remember, Chandler was very upset with Cole Custer. On the season for Eric Almirola behind the wheel of the 20. Aaron Wynn. Finger pointing escalated to a punch thrown. We saw at the beginning of the day, as the pre-race ceremonies were taking place, Eric Almirola has the whole family here with him. And they'll be able to celebrate. This is win number 7 of his career in the Xfinity Series. And Dave, you're right down there to help with the celebration.
I feel like part of the family, Rick. The family has joined. Good to see you, Alex. 148 led in April, 150 today. You outdid yourself, and you put this car in the championship for the Owners' Championship.
Wow, what an amazing race car. So proud of Tyler and all the guys on this team, man. We had an amazing car here in the spring, and we made a few tweaks to it because I wasn't totally happy with it, honestly, in the spring. And we showed up yesterday, and we were awful. I was like, oh, no, what did we do? And they went to work last night and came up with a lot of changes to make to the car, and it was so hooked up today. It would just do everything I wanted it to. So, man, this is such a special place. This is by far my favorite racetrack, and I'm just so thankful. Thankful to Coach, everybody at Toyota. Thank you to He Gets Us. Thank you, God. You know, there's so much more to it than just me and this race team. I'm just so lucky and blessed to have this opportunity with so many great partners. Go Bowling. I hate that they've been a partner of mine for so long and we haven't got them to victory lane, but just so thankful. Thankful to everybody at TRD, Toyota. Our GR Supra was faster than the Xfinity Internet today, and just what an amazing race car. Just so proud, so proud, and we're gonna go race for an Owners' Championship in Phoenix.
Congratulations and good luck. Kim Kuhn.
Cole Custer transfers to the championship 4, but the bigger headline, the altercation between you and Chandler Smith on pit road. I heard you say what goes around comes around. What did Chandler say to you?
I mean, obviously he's not happy, but at the end of the day, he's put us on the wall a few times this year, and his mistakes caught up with him. You know, he used the bumper on me, I used the bumper on him. So what comes around goes around in this deal. I'm so proud of this team. I mean, we brought out everything we had today. Kept us in the fight, you know, but JT and all the guys just did a great job all year, maximizing everything we had. So just can't thank Gene Haas, everybody at Haas Automation, Ford Performance. Can't wait to go to Phoenix now and see what we can do.
Chandler has made it very clear that he does not care what happens because he doesn't know what his future is. After the altercation today, are you worried retribution might come at Phoenix next weekend as you run for a championship?
I mean, it is what it is. I think at the end of the day, you know, he put us in the wall a few times this year. He kept us from winning a race, I feel like, at Kansas. And he used the bumper on me, I used the bumper on him. I don't know how we're not even. And then he punched me in the face. I can't even tell if he really punched me in the face. It was so soft. But at the end of the day, it was, we'll go on to Phoenix.
All right, Cole Custer calls it even. Marty, what does Chandler Smith think?
Let's chat with Chandler. So you got out of the car immediately. You were upset on the radio with how Cole Custer raced you on that one restart. What did you want to say to him when you went up to him, and were you planning to throw a punch?
I was planning to do a lot more than that, to be completely frank with you. I was extremely pissed off. I gave him 5 laps before that caution came out, and beat his bumper off and never shipped him or anything like that. Then finally it's like, all right, the laps are winding down. I'm in a must win. The 20's starting to drive away. He was really good all day. I can't waste any more time with him. So I finally had a good enough run and pushed him up the racetrack and went on our way. But I gave him a chance for 5 laps before that, right? Well, I think he was the first guy all day that chose the outside lane from 3rd place, so that's very interesting. And then he didn't even give me a chance to make the corner when we got to turn 1. And funny enough, the restart right after that, picks right behind me again. How ironic is that? It is what it is. Super, super proud of everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing. We had a really, really fast number 81 Quick Type Products GR Supra, and I'm very passionate about this. I love this group. This group deserves to be in Phoenix and deserves to go out and contend for a championship. Just with how the playoff format is and whatnot, we were in a must-win situation tonight, and those are the cards that were dealt, and we're not going to go and race for a championship, and that's okay. We're going to go to Phoenix, and we're going to go try to kick their ass there.
So this is the first time with you and Cole Custer this year. He just said earlier that he feels like you took the win away from him at Kansas. You guys had words after that race. He said he feels like everything is even now. What do you think?
I think he's full of shit if he doesn't think the 20 was going to blow his doors off after 5 laps in that race, honestly. You go back and look, the 20 was the best car that entire race. He was even better than me, better than the 00. At the end of the day, I didn't even know what he was mad about at Kansas until I went back, talked to him, was like, what were you mad about? And seeing what happened, I was like, okay, that's my bad. You can go back and listen to the spotters footage. He said clear, never knew you were outside. It's on me. And his thing was, well, you have a mirror and all that. I was like, that's great. I'm just letting you know what the situation was. So he can think we're even and all, but he's the one that's got more stakes than I do next weekend as well. So
there you go. Chandler Smith obviously not letting this one go either, Rick. And I think this is to be continued next weekend as Cole Custer races for a championship. How will Chandler Smith race him?